Hey everybody, we're out here in the big pasture garden out in the field, and you can see the expanse of it here. I have just put down my very first rows of plastic mulch fabric, these here, in the big field garden, and this is going to be all fenced in. So you can see I started the initial fencing here, and this is specifically going to be for flowers and herbs that the deer are going to get to and critters are going to get to. So I need to make sure I have fencing around them to protect them. I've never done this, and it went pretty well. Like getting the plastic laid went really well, and I have been able to keep it secure. I added in the fence posts, and today I am I am burning holes with the torch and starting to drill them out to plant. So the puppies are out here. I don't think I have yet introduced our new little baby on this channel, so we're going to take a second to meet little Mr. Arlo. Here, buddy! Here's Arlo! So Arlo is 12 weeks, already full of mud, and he is a Bernedoodle. Just darling. Emma has taken to him really well, like great big sister energy. She's kind of becoming a mama to him. And they play so well, and they're like little best friends. So it is very, very fun. Did you guys find a rock? Look at you. That's a very flat rock. And they are my garden helpers. So in this row, what I'm planning to do is start to put herbs in. I'm going to drop some seeds in here. And I've got a whole dream of things I want to do. I'm not sure exactly yet what's going to go in on this side, but my idea is down the middle, this is my walkway, so I can have a good walking path. I don't have to manage the weeds on, knock on wood that this will work. And then on this side, I'm going to put in my sunflower successions. So all the way down at the end, there's over 100 feet here of row length. I have drilled a series of holes to start today for sunflowers, and these are for cut flower sunflowers, like the dwarf kind that are anywhere from 3 to 7 feet tall. I grew a ton of them last season. I'm a huge fan. They are one of the best, easiest things to grow, but you can't have them outside the fence because the deer will get them. They're delicious. So feeling really excited today. I just have this as what will be an interior fence line inside the bigger garden. Number one, to prevent deer from getting in, because you have to have a depth obstacle, whether it's just ribbons or if it's actually a fence. And then also this is going to provide structural support for the sunflowers, because I'm going to have them on this side and also have more sunflowers on this side. And so if wind comes along, I have learned through trial and error, it's a nice thing to have a fence there just so there's something to tie them to or help protect a little bit from wind damage. Thing I am really, really just dazzled by, I guess I'm easily amused. Out in the main garden here, which we just haven't tilled in a little while, but we'll get back through and till up the weeds here. There are a whole bunch of volunteer sunflowers. Check this out. Look at these. So this was roughly the area, well, I'm trying to think here from last year. I had my big sunflower row somewhere in this vicinity, and there's a whole bunch of babies coming up. Just volunteers, all on their own. So what that means is the seeds from the plants last year fell in the ground, and through 2 different cycles of tilling, they've still managed to not get destroyed and germinate. Here's another one. So it's really, really cool. And I can see them all over in different areas. Like back there, there's some. I mean, they're scattered all over this garden. So I consider it kind of like a good luck blessing. I'm just seeing gobs of them, like these. Those are sunflowers. And before we take the tiller back through, I mean, these are like bonus plants that I didn't even put effort into growing. And they are like a good luck blessing. So I want to kind of rescue them and transplant them over into my plastic over there, into the back holes that I've started. All right, planting them in the ground. This is very satisfying because they're so ready to go. Nurtured by nature. Nibbled on by rabbits a little, but who cares? Look at that so far. Looking good. One-handed planting when you're lazy and don't have a tripod, and you still want to film it. Yes, do they look stressed out? Absolutely. But I'm pretty confident they will bounce back. I've seen them do this before. They're super resilient. Sunflowers are just an awesome flower to grow if you're looking for something easy. And I was also thinking, I'm going to run out of room here. And there's a lot more out in the field out there. So I'm thinking I'm going to actually take some and put them in pots. Like, why not put them in containers? Like on our porch and patio. You can do that too with dwarf sunflowers. Now, some varieties might not look the best. They won't grow as tall because their roots don't get to go as deep, but it's still pretty fun and rewarding. You look at this. I am telling you, this must be meant to be. I have 4 holes left and 4 sunflowers left. Go figure. That is kind of really cool. Alright, I am starting to transplant my Snapdragon cut flowers here. I am the most proud of this tray that I've grown from seed of these rocket Snapdragons, and that's because I did actually do a side-by-side trial between using the soil blocks. So that's what I've got here, these little brownie shapes. You can see in one soil block quite a few plants here, and this isn't actually ideal. You would actually space them out more. I'll get to that in a second, but essentially this is the best growing method that I have come across. I actually compared this to a cell tray, and it didn't do nearly as well. And I did thin these out, so when they were a lot smaller, probably 1/3 smaller, I did thin them out, put the other ones in another tray. So this actually is a thinned out version, but you could argue I could have thinned these even more, because look at how many plants are in this one soil block. But regardless, they look amazing. The tray is super wet because we had a lot of rain, and it sat outside and therefore got a lot of leaves in it. For at least 2 weeks, I actually hardened these off for quite a bit. I'm really bad at hardening off. I get impatient and I don't put the trays out enough or with enough patience. I either don't leave them out long enough, or I leave them out too long and something gets zapped or snapped in a cold spell. But these are cold tolerant plants. Like, they're cool flowers. So they've done super well. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And I have labeled them here. They are group 2 to 3 and then group 3. I've got orange, lavender, and another orange. And what the groups mean, if you're not familiar, this is a little bit deeper level on Snapdragon growing. So these are different times of the season. So this 2 to 3 is more mid-season, where they can do better in heat. And then when we get to 3, it's like definite summer. And then there's groups 3 to 4 that I'll be starting too. So I am actually planting them left to right. I'm putting these ones in the ground first, and then the 3s later. So they kind of will, as I put them in the bed here, it'll go from left to right roughly. And of course, I'll just know when they bloom too. That'll be pretty obvious. So for reference, this is my group 1 batch. As sad as this is, I'm still proud of them. So I only have 3. So I want to show you this. So in my Snapdragon section, I had a really poor germination, poor growing experience. I only got 3 of them that made it out of the group 1, if you can believe that. So these are white. They're supposed to bloom white. But hey, I got 3. I didn't think they were going to make it at all. They look terrible. So this is what they look like when they get a little bit taller. And they've still got a ways to go. But they have done so well, so strong. And then what you can see around them, I had just planted out of that tray. So out of the tray there, I was just talking about. So these are group 2. So I've smattered them in amongst these 3 group 1. So these should start blooming first, so to speak. And then so on up the line are the group 2 and 3 as we go along. These I have yet to plant. I've drilled out the holes so they're fresh and tussled up. And then I want to show you the other side of the low tunnel. So I've taken off the plastic arches and the frost cloth and everything. It feels really good to have that off. I still got to move the bricks off because I don't need them anymore. But I'm feeling so excited because this is just a whole new level of weed management for me. I've never done the fabric, and I'm really, really loving it because look at how uniform this is. I've got all my bachelor buttons coming up and they look so terrific. Aren't they gorgeous? They just look so consistent. And then I honestly don't know what these are. Maybe they're Bells of Ireland. I don't know. And I don't know what these are, but they also look great. So that'll be a fun surprise. Ranunculus. So this continues to be a dramatic relationship. Ranunculus and I don't know that we're getting along. And the story here, I have been growing these in a very intentional fashion for the last 3 seasons, and I think I might be throwing in the towel after this. They just seem cranky. They don't like me, and I think they need more futzing than I'm willing to put in. Like, I have babied them. I have sprouted them inside. I put them out here. They had the low tunnel cover. They've had fertilized, like I do need to fertilize them again, but they have had all the right treatment, and they're still just... They're not vigorous. They just don't seem happy. They seem stubborn and crabby, and I think I'm done. I'm over it. I have them in my front porch window boxes too, and same thing. So it doesn't even matter that they're in the ground. I thought, okay, I'll do some in the ground, see how they do. Maybe they like that more. And some in the porch boxes. Doesn't matter. They just all hate me. So at this point, while there's some nice foliage here, I have no idea if they're going to even put off blooms. I have a feeling they're just going to like stick their middle finger up at me because that's kind of where we're at. So no more ranunculus after this. I'm done. Unless someone has advice, they want to comment and give me advice on it. Yes, do they probably need sandier soil? We've got a nice silt mix here. Yeah, maybe. But I don't know that I'm willing to amend the soil just for them. That just seems very high maintenance. Moving on. What I am very happy about, and who is getting along with me, is stock. Look at these plants. These stock flowers, we are having a great time together. These looked like hell before. They bounced back, so now I know from experience, this is my second year growing them, I know from experience when they look like crap after I put them in the ground, just wait it out, let them hang on, fertilize them, and they will bounce back, and they have done that in great fashion. Some of the little tiny ones that I thought were done, they have rebounded, and I can tell like there's some really nice growth in the middle here. Like I think they're going to be putting up blooms really well. I'm very, very excited about these. So since I'm getting like a good thumbs up from them, I'm going to consider putting more in, so I have successions. And isn't this such a beautiful blank canvas down here? So I did have holes burned here, a little bit more ambitious than I should have, but it occurred to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I could just put fabric over that and just tamp it down, because I literally had like big clumps of weed grass growing up, and I thought, why would I weed the holes? So it is so nice having this fabric. Like first year doing this, I have to say I totally get why professional growers do this, and I am just very, very dazzled. I do need to weed whack that so it's cleaner, but what an amazing canvas I have here. And I could put anything in here I want, so seeds, anything. Since I had some empty holes here in this front section, I'm gonna just fill these in with more of those group 3 Snapdragons, because I think I have plenty. So just fill it in, whatever, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then the Lysianthus. So these are such slow growers. It is agonizing as a gardener, but they're still here. I do need to fertilize them. I feel like they're a little yellow. And I am still very proud of the ones that I grew. These are still hanging on. There's not many. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, 6 that have still held on that I have grown. So it's just a really interesting experiment. Actually, there's a couple more there. Just to see what they do. And the ones that I bought, these ones here, it's kind of like, yeah, they grew a little bit, but they are like turtles. They are just, it's the tortoise, not the hare. It's a little discouraging as a gardener, because you're like, would you do something? Like, are you okay? Like, it's just not satisfying. But I trust that they are supposed to be amazing in August when they come into bloom. So we'll see, because everything I'm understanding and reading, they are so worth the wait. Let's actually plant some of these group 2 to 3 Snapdragons with one hand here. That one does not look good. Here, I'm gonna grab this chunk and see if I can just tussle it apart. I'm really loving the method that I'm using this year. It just feels so much more efficient for my time, and I can just enjoy it more. So here's one, and I'm gonna find a hole. So this is a hole I re-drilled, and literally just toss it in there. The other thing is, gosh, we've got all these little, I call them helicopter maple seeds from this maple tree above. So I'm trying to vigilantly make sure they don't go in the hole, because they definitely can sprout tree weeds. I hate tree weeds. So, I mean, they're almost as annoying as dandelions, truly. So just throwing these in the ground. Sometimes using some of the actual soil from the soil blocks. Whatever works. You know, the ground's kind of uneven, so some of the holes are really deep and weird. You got to fill them in. And other holes, it's just easier. Oh, look at the root system on that one. Jeez. And then I'm learning, like, when you drill holes, you get all this surface dirt, all this soil on top that spins up and out. So I'm using some of that too to bury them in. And then once I get everything set, I might actually take the blower just to clean it off. But if you're looking for something that's easy, again, similar to sunflowers, Snapdragons are so satisfying. And you can put them in containers. They have 2 different main sizes that I'm aware of anyway. I'm not an expert, but I'm just going to share what I've learned in this video here. What I'm familiar with is there's like a miniature, smaller size, which is very common at retail consumer garden centers. You know, and those get maybe a foot high. And then the ones I'm planting here are much larger. They get probably 3 feet tall. Don't quote me on that. I'm not looking at a seed packet right now. But they get really large, and they have very strong stems, and they are designed for cut flowers. They are professional grade, and they come back too. Once you cut them, they regrow, and they have a good amount of runway. You get probably a month out of them, in my experience, of cutting before they really peter out and get tired. And that's why you do the groups. That's why I'm starting, because I love them so much. They are worth my time and effort. I don't want to run out. I don't want to get to a point in the season where I can't enjoy them anymore. So I'm definitely going all in on staggering them, succession planting in the different groups this season. The other benefit with everything in this garden, and the benefit of these Snapdragons, is they are deer resistant. So unlike a sunflower, which will get eaten like salad by a deer or rabbits, everything in this bed I've researched is deer resistant, knock on wood. And I know that the Snapdragons are, because I've grown them many times. So that is a huge benefit if you want to throw these also in a garden bed somewhere, and a landscape bed, or in containers. Like, you're not going to have an issue with those pests. which is just so lovely. I've loved these ever since I was a little girl. I remember even on like the roadside as weeds, they're like a version, like a ditch version of Snapdragons that had yellow blooms. Though they were weeds, I still thought, wow, they're just so beautiful. So they've always been very charming to me.